Hello! Today we're focusing on one of the most crucial elements of moving from the UK to Jamaica, the cost of living and how to budget effectively to maximize your savings. Moving to the island means navigating a unique financial landscape where some major expenses drop dramatically while the cost of certain everyday items spikes. The good news for British citizens is that overall, your budgets are likely to stretch further, particularly if your primary income stream remains in GBP. But successful financial planning requires understanding where you save and where you must hold the line. Let's start with the largest expense for most people, housing. This is where the most significant savings are realized. On average, if you are looking for a one-bedroom apartment in a Jamaican city center, you are looking at a rental cost of roughly £500 to £600 per month. Compare this striking figure to the UK average, which typically begins at £1,000 per month or more. For budgeting purposes, however, you must be precise about location. Areas like the capital, Kingston, and high-end resort zones will certainly command higher prices. Beyond rent, managing utilities also offers relief. Average apartment utilities run approximately £90 to £120 monthly in Jamaica, significantly lower than the typical UK bill of £230 to £260. A key budgetary note here: if you rely heavily on air conditioning, anticipate your electricity costs rising substantially. Next, let's look at mobility and transportation. If you rely solely on local public transport, the savings continue. A monthly pass or equivalent costs around £30 to £40, which is half or less than the UK average of £60 to £90. This is a great way to manage daily spending. However, many expatriates choose to drive, and this introduces a critical budgetary hurdle. While transport services themselves are cheaper, major costs like insurance and high import duties must be factored in, as these fees add considerable weight to the overall cost of owning a car. Therefore, if you plan to ship a vehicle or buy locally, allocate a significant portion of your capital budget to these administrative and customs fees. Our budget story pivots sharply when we look at food. The Jamaican cost of living is defined by the stark difference between local value and import costs. You can find incredible, inexpensive meals by utilizing local diners and street food, where a cheap meal averages just £6 to £7. This offers great value compared to the UK average of around £15 for a similar inexpensive meal. Local produce is generally cheap and plentiful. The challenge for financial planning arises with imported goods. For those accustomed to specific UK brands, be prepared. Items like imported dairy products and foreign wines can be surprisingly costly. Strategic budgeting, therefore, means prioritizing and maximizing your consumption of local foods and goods to offset the expense of imported luxury or specialty items. So, what's the final financial takeaway? Jamaica offers a clear opportunity to lower major monthly outlays like rent and services. But successful budgeting hinges on embracing a local lifestyle to benefit from the cheap value of produce and street food. Remember that expensive private healthcare, private schooling, and high vehicle duties must be planned for. Always treat the available benchmarks as general guidance and verify costs specifically for your chosen city and intended lifestyle to ensure your financial plan remains robust. Sound: gentle, upbeat Caribbean-style instrumental music swells and fades out.